There were 2 more murders 15 miles away.
When police arrived, they found the telephones and electricity lines.
We have a weird homicide.
A scene described by one investigator as reminiscent of a weird
cup of murder.
Sometimes a confession can lead police to a crime they didn't even know was committed. On March 20th, 2000, a man took the lives of 5 ex-coworkers. And when police got him in custody, he decided to lead them to his first victim, a woman they didn't even know was missing, let alone dead. So if you like your coffee hot but your bones chilled, sit back and start your day with a morning cup of murder. Robert Wayne Harris was an angry man. While working at the Mighty Fine car washing in Irving, Texas, a job he only held for about 10 months, he was caught masturbating in front of a female customer and, understandably, let go from his position. 4 days later, on March 20th, 2000, and furious about his firing, Robert borrowed a handgun from one friend, a car from another, and drove to his former workplace. There, he forced his manager, Dennis Lee, assistant manager, Augustine Villaseñor, and cashier on duty, Rhoda Wheeler, into the office where he made Rhoda open the safe. She did exactly as he asked and gave no resistance and handed over the cash. With the money in hand, Robert made all 3 ex-coworkers lie on the ground before shooting them each in the back of their heads at close range and slitting Dennis Lee's throat. As he turned to leave, 3 more employees showed up for their shifts. Robert forced them into the lobby and gave Benjamin Villaseñor and Roberto Jimenez, who was only 15 years old, the exact same treatment he gave the others. The 3rd employee was able to survive the shooting, but was left permanently disabled. Another employee, a man named Jason Shields, arrived to find 2 bodies in the lobby and Robert Harris standing near the cash register. Robert was quick to tell Jason that he came into the building and made the shocking discovery, but Jason felt that something was off. He told Robert that he needed some air and went outside, where he hurried to a nearby donut shop to call police. Robert followed him into the store, spoke with police about his devastating discovery, and fled the scene. When he brought the car back to its owner, he told them that he had discovered the bodies at the car wash. He then took the $4,000 cash he made during the robbery and got some new clothes, checked into a motel room, and sent a friend to purchase a new gold cross necklace for himself. He then went to another friend's home with the intention of leaving a few days later to Florida, where an ex-girlfriend lived. A woman who would have been in mortal danger had police not caught up with him and arrested him on March 21st, 2000. While in custody, not only did Robert admit his plan to kill his former girlfriend, but he led police to a weedy ditch near Trinity River floodplain to the body of 37-year-old Sandra Scott, a woman who, unbeknownst to the police, had been missing for about 4 months. According to his testimony, he snatched Scott on November 29, 1999, after he believed she stole $200 from his wallet. When brought to trial for the 5 murders committed at the car wash, jury members heard about Robert's checkered past and frequent run-ins with the authorities. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison on 2 counts of burglary in May 1991, 8 years for another in June of 1991, paroled in May of 1999, had a history of assault and drug dealing, and now had killed 6 people with a plan to kill a 7th. After hearing all of this and deliberating for only 11 minutes, on October 6, 2000, Robert Wayne Harris was sentenced to death. Though he was charged with Sandra Scott's murder and abduction, he was never brought to trial. Over the years, appeals were made for Robert's life and for a fair trial. According to his lawyers, they believe Robert, who is Black, was treated unfairly by a prosecution who used their jury challenges to exclude Black jurors from their panel. Another appeal stated that Robert was mentally impaired and should not be put to death, citing a low IQ that was heavily disputed during the trial. The Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles took both appeals into consideration, but in the end, rejected both and sent Robert to the execution chamber on September 20th, 2012. Thank you for joining me in my morning cup of murder. Please join me again tomorrow to hear what terrible thing happened on March 21st. Don't forget to rate and subscribe and let me know how you like it. If you want to support the podcast, there's always Patreon, or just sharing it with your true crime obsessed friends. And remember, stay safe. Today's episode is sponsored by Fire Bee Honey. If you were looking for something unique and absolutely delicious, then look no further, because I'm about to tell you about my latest obsession, Fire Bee Honey. Fire Bee Honey is honey with a kick and the perfect ratio of sweet and heat. This honey is handcrafted in small batches to transform the flavor of raw honey without compromising its amazing health benefits, which is what makes it stand out from traditional hot sauces. They use a perfect blend of flavors so even non-spicy lovers can enjoy. We use honey a ton in our house, but wanted to spice things up with a little more flavor, and let me tell you, this stuff is a game changer for sure. My son and I are big chicken nugget people, and honey is our go-to dipping sauce. But recently, we switched up our traditional honey for Fire Bee Honey, and let me tell you, I may never go back. Not only is it delicious, but there are no added sugars or nasty preservatives, so I feel really good about feeding it to my family. And if a kick isn't your thing, Fire Bee has flavors like cinnamon, vanilla, elderberry, and chocolate that would be perfect for baking, or a fancy cup of tea, and other items like spicy honey beef jerky and spicy honey barbecue sauce, which my husband promptly took and made the most amazing pulled pork sandwiches with. So if you are ready to spice up your meals and enjoy some flavor while still reaping the benefits of raw honey, then Fire Bee is the place for you. Get 15% off your purchase when you order 2 or more bottles by using the link www.firebeehoney.com/morningcupofmurder. That's www.firebeehoney.com/morningcupofmurder for 15% off the purchase of 2 or more bottles of Fire Bee Honey.